It's not your podcast. It's my Karen's. You don't get to talk like that.
Welcome to the Incoherent Fangirl,
where this is the last normal episode of this season and this year.
Oh my god, that's so exciting.
Isn't that crazy? It's wild.
It's wild. I am Karin from China.
And yes, you are. Ms. Made in China. And I'm Mandy of the Atlantean Society. You've got like a double entendre this week, or double meaning.
I didn't mean to.
It just worked out. That's kismet.
It worked out. Yeah. Mostly because I forgot the name of the actual city that they're in, so my bad. Okay. So in our timeline, it is October 23rd, and in your timeline, it's October 28th. And if you're wondering why we're recording on a Sunday instead of a Thursday, life.
It's me. I'm the problem.
It's me. This has been stuck
I decided that I would come home from Florida and have one okay day before coming down with the theme park funk. I was tested for COVID. I'm negative for COVID. Nobody else that we went with is sick. But I have been laid out most of the past week. So we recorded a little late because I did not have the spoons at all.
Yeah. So yay. She's feeling slightly better, kind of, maybe enough to record, so yay.
Yeah.
I'm
here.
The craziest idea yesterday, thinking like, well, if Mandy can't record, I can record and I'll play both parts. Mandy can just like sit on the phone with me and respond via text message, and I'll read her words as if I was her. It'll be hilarious. But I'm really glad that we're not doing that.
Yeah. I would love to see you do that, but at the same time thinking about how, because I like rely on voice to text, and I'd be on the phone with you. So see how long it would take me to type out every single response for a whole podcast. And I was like, no, girl, get up, throw on a little bit of makeup and record. We need to do that for a mini-sode one day, though.
That would be really funny. I just play both parts.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I would love to see and hear it.
I don't know how well that would go. I don't know, but it would be amusing. All right.
For sure.
Let's get into it. This week in Fangirling, we have I want to say 2 weeks.
Like 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, something like that to talk about. The first thing I have written down, we need to go through the end of She-Hulk. Have you finished it?
I only wrote down one thing, and it's Pug.
I love Pug. Okay, so that means you have finished it.
Into the camp.
I loved Pug in general.
When she was like, call every woman females, and he was like, oh.
Yes. See,
I love him.
We know it's not all men because of Pug, but Pug would stand up.
Like Pug.
Pug would be like, yeah, all men. He gets it. He would not be the one fighting like, not all men. No, he gets it. I love
and
that
with
man.
her and he's like, I'm just gonna walk around with an AirPod, and she's like, trust me, you won't be the only one. And then she's feeding him stuff to say, and he's just like,
he's so disgusted,
crawling. And what's great is he looks the part, like he looks like he could be cast as like the stereotypical asshole. And so the fact that he's not at all in this role is wonderful. Yeah, it makes me very refreshing.
I love him so much. Okay, so the last episode we talked about was episode 6, and I know you've only got one thing written down, but I have some notes, so we'll go through it.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you do, because I have no memory of anything I've ever watched ever.
Episode 7, my first note: never trust a Josh.
I trust a Josh.
Because that was the episode where we saw. I also have a sub note to that, which I think you'll appreciate. And it's literally the stupidest sub note ever, and it's probably not true at all. But I wrote, what if Harry Styles already knew about Josh, and that's why he said what he said on stage? Obviously not, but how
in
fucking
the MCU.
Hilarious. I know, but I'm just like so far removed from She-Hulk, but yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to call myself the elite of people who can trust the Josh.
You got the one. You got the one.
I got the one.
You got the one. You got the one. I dated a Josh.
Suck it. Suck it, everybody else.
I also wrote down, I loved the whole retreat vibe. I thought it was fun. That was the episode where she was at the retreat. She-Hulk episode 8. I have no idea what this quote was about, but I wrote down, that makes me uncomfortable. Apparently Jen said it, and I wrote, me too, Jen, and I don't remember what this is about because it's been a while since I watched episode 8. I feel like it was probably something to do with I think this is the episode. This is the Matt episode. And I think it's probably something to do with the frog guy. I think he said something. I also wrote down, he called his secret lair his famous secret lair, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, and obviously I didn't like any of this.
He was a buffoon.
Yeah.
But I love the super suit. I love Quippy Matt because that was a side of him we've never seen, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love
Jen. I know. I text you.
You did.
I have a note because I text you about it. It says on this episode that it's like, it's not extreme. I can't remember what they called it. It was like heavy sexual content or something like that. And like, I did not expect for it to be a She-Hulk and Daredevil fight. Like, was that the sexual moment? Because it seemed like the sexual moment.
that was a moment. That was definitely a moment. I love their whole banter. Like, they were so funny together. That was amazing. Matt's walk of shame in the Daredevil suit,
so freaking funny.
Perfection. Made me so happy.
Freaking good.
Did you catch the Rent reference when she said something about like, I have to do everything that you do? Or no, it was during the award ceremony where the guy was like, they have to do everything that we do, but backwards and in heels.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
anybody
else? Musical theater geeks? That's our moment. And then at the end, when Mallory was the one who was trying to keep Jen calm, actually made me really emotional because she was like, they were obviously not friends, but she was like, she could see her.
Oh my God, when she's like, don't let them do this. Don't do it. Don't let them do this to you. And she knew that it wasn't Jen. She's like, don't let them make you this.
Yep. Yeah. And I was just like, that's the moment of like female solidarity that we need, rather than the female toxicity that exists in media. Like, they were not friends. Like, that's something that you don't expect to see from somebody who, like, they're quote unquote enemies or rivals. They
weren't really enemies or rivals, were they? I thought they whenever Mallory represented her, they kind of ended things on okay terms.
I feel like I think they pitted Mallory kind of as like somebody who was just kind of not a fan of Jen's, just because she was also a female lawyer kind of thing. And she probably was like, you were handed this because of you being She-Hulk, where I had to work. Right. So they like started her off as kind of like that like toxic female relationship that we see so often, where they're like fighting against you, not fighting because Jen was always just like, hey, but you know, and so to have her be the one in that moment that was like, you got to keep it together. So I really loved that. The season finale, I loved everything about it. It was such a good episode. The fourth wall break when it went to the Disney Plus screen.
I know, and Kevin.
I looked to my daughter. I was like, "What the hell is happening?" And then she kept talking, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
I like this."
That was cool.
I did feel a little called out when she got to the writer's room, because it was like, this is kind of the way that we talk about Kevin Feige. Like, we kind of idolize him a bit. I'm like, oh, maybe this is not the best way.
The Kevin. Yeah. It's like nobody talks to Kevin.
I love how aware Marvel is. Like, they knew that they needed to do something like this and call themselves out, call out the fans, call out the toxic fanboy, like everybody. They called out everybody. Yeah. And I loved it.
Yeah, that was funny.
Okay. 3 more things.
She said something like, I'll see you on the big screen?
Yes.
And he's like, no.
Well, I think he said it, and she was like, really? And then he was like, no. And I was like, oh.
No. Yeah.
Rude. How dare you?
Yeah.
Her little wink to the camera after she mentioned the X-Men, I thought was so cute.
Yes.
What the hell was Matt literally fell out of the sky at the end of that episode? Just because, like, I was just like, where did you come from? He came straight down, like, dropped in, like some sort of video game character.
Yeah.
But him at the little family dinner at the end is very cute.
I know. He's so cute.
It was very cute. Just having, I love that we're getting these moments. I saw a TikTok where somebody was like, we're getting so many like family dinners in phase 4. Like, it's true.
Which is real life.
It's real life. It's nice. I like that phase 4 is more like grounded in like things that are real, because and I guess Bruce's son.
Yeah.
I am very intrigued.
Josh spoiled that one for me.
Oh, did
he? Well, he didn't mean to. He was scrolling on TikTok and somebody was talking about it and he has the volume up like super loud and it's while we were on vacation and it was like, really? Aww. Okay, that happened. So I knew it was coming.
Aww. Yeah, I was very confused. I was like, wait, at what point did you have time to have a son?
Yeah, just I'm that grown.
Well, it has to have been when he was on Sakaar, and time moves differently.
Time's different there,
Yeah, so in like real life, he's probably not that old. Like our Earth time, he's probably not that old. But
Renesmee. He's giving me Renesmee vibes. Maybe gonna imprint on him.
He's
3 days old.
My last note is why are we breaking out Abomination again, Wong? What did you not? You're not supposed to do that, sir. There's clearly something else going on, and I need to know what it is. I like the joke that it's like the Wong cinematic universe right now.
I'm sure that the Kevin will let us know in time.
In time.
The Kevin.
The Kevin. I thought that was really funny. Somebody pointed out, I didn't notice it, but the little over the robot thing, there's like a thing that looks like the hat, and I was like, oh, hey,
yeah,
I love it. Oh, so fun. So that was She-Hulk. I don't feel like it's Marvel's strongest outing, but that finale was probably the best.
It was the most casually enjoyable to me, but not the strongest show they've ever had, but it wasn't one that you had to pay attention to every, like with Loki, you know, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You felt like a Marvel movie where you're like, pay attention because these things may crop up 6 movies shows from now. We got everything. With this, it more laid back, more it was like laugh and watch.
Right. It was like, it's nice to have something that's like in universe that just kind of exists as its own thing still.
Right.
You know, like it doesn't feel like it necessary. I mean, obviously with Bruce and his now son, that's gonna tie into something later. But other than that, it doesn't feel like it has to be a part of the bigger universe. Right. Which is nice. It's nice. So I enjoyed it. And it was nice to have such like a comedic thing, like separate from the MCU. So that was fun. And in a complete tonal shift, did you watch Werewolf by Night?
I did. I loved it, but I also felt like it was a fever dream. You asked me if I watched it. Like I didn't. I'm not the one that made you watch it when you watched it.
You did watch it. I just as soon as you said fever dream, I was like, we've had this conversation already.
Yeah. It felt like a weird fever dream.
It
felt like I was just like lucid watching. Different, very different.
It's very different, and I enjoyed it a lot. I was deeply distracted by, I don't even remember her name, but the main girl looking so much like Kristen Ritter. Like, it was distracting me. I kept thinking...
I couldn't convince myself it wasn't her.
Yeah.
For the longest.
When I saw, like, the trailer come out, I was like, what the fuck, is that Kristen Ritter? And then
I never saw a trailer. I went in completely blind.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm confused. But then like nobody on TikTok was talking about it, and I'm like, clearly I'm just being insane. That can't be Kristen Ritter. And so it wasn't, but she just looks so much like her that I was like distracted.
What is going on?
I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I, being a diehard Wizard of Oz fan, very much enjoyed the fact that they went with red as like the color throughout. That was like the only color throughout, and then that's when and then the song plays and it comes back into color, and I was like, ooh, this is Oz vibes. Made me happy.
Yeah, except for the red is for blood.
I know, but it just I also
slippers.
I also love, well, I mean, obviously they had to do the red, like it makes the most sense that it was the red. I just thought it was a really cool parallel to be like, if you think about it, in The Wizard of Oz, the shoes aren't supposed to be red. Like in the book they're silver, but they changed it to red because color was like the new thing at the time, so they wanted to make it really pop. And so I don't know. I mean,
did you know that Cinderella's slippers in the original story were fur, but somebody mistranslated the word into glass? Yeah.
Oh.
So that's why she has glass slippers. They were supposed to be fur slippers.
Interesting. And also
funny, like the little things that change.
Yeah. Well, and that's going to happen with any sort of translation. Like things get lost in translation all the time. So, yeah. So, that I have one more MCU thing to talk about. And it's that Harrison Ford is coming to the MCU. And I
don't know that. How is he still making things? I feel like he's 150.
I don't know, but good for him. I'm excited.
Yeah, that's my dearly departed mother-in-law's Tom Hiddleston. Aww. Like she was a die-hard Harrison Ford girl.
I do love Harrison Ford. It's exciting. I'm excited to see what comes of it because he's gonna play Ross, Thunderbolt Ross, after William Hurt's passing. So it's gonna be interesting to see his take on it and to see. I mean, he just casually has like several credits in the MCU, you know, like the character. And so it's like it's gonna be interesting to see what they do with him moving forward, especially with such a big name attached to it now.
Yeah. Right.
So we'll see. I'm excited. So I have a lot more things to talk about because we were gone for a while. So I normally don't talk about the TV shows that I watch, but I watched an episode of Station 19, which is like a spin-off of Grey's Anatomy, but firefighters. And one of the firefighters is a gay firefighter. His name's Montgomery. And he is running for mayor, not to win, just to take votes away from the Republican candidate because he's a piece of shit. And so he's in the firehouse, like panicking about it, and he's talking a whole bunch. And his best friend, and also a firefighter, Vic, she's just like, shut up, talk less. And then she starts singing Hamilton. She says, you can see the light bulb go off. She says, talk less, and then the light bulb goes off, and she's like, smile more, and she keeps going. And
oh my God.
So fun. And it's funny because the next line is, don't let them know what you're against or what you're for. And she is telling him, like, you need to be neutral on these things. Because you're already a gay candidate and you're trying, and he's running as an independent. And so it's just like, that was really funny. And I was like, hey, more musical theater references. Yay. I need more of these. Makes me happy. And then I finished reading Making a Scene by Constance Wu. An additional context of the tweet where she was saying that she wasn't happy that her show was renewed. She was being sexually harassed by a producer of the show during the first two seasons. And so because she was just starting out as an actress, she didn't really speak up or anything like that. And so once she kind of found her footing and found where she was like more confident, she started putting her foot down. And so he started kind of icing her out. And so she was not having like a great experience. And so like that's more context to why she was like, I'm not super excited about, you know, this being renewed. Which I totally get, and it totally makes sense. And I'm glad she was able to write this book and kind of give more information about, you know, where she was coming from throughout all of this. And yay, good for her. Yeah. It was a good book. It was I enjoyed it. I did have to borrow it on ebook form from the library because the audio audiobook version I was listening to had sections that were just missing. It was very weird. It would be like, it was like, I didn't notice it at first because they were, she was reading it and then she'd like finish a sentence and then keep going, and then I was like, that has nothing to do with what you were just talking about, but it was a complete sentence. Right. So I was like, okay, maybe it's just weird writing. Yeah. And then later on, there was a point where she's reading and it gets to like the middle of a sentence and then she finishes a sentence with a completely different thought, and I was like, oh no, yeah, it's weird. Literally like
this is jacked up.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe I accidentally skipped something, so I like moved back like 10 seconds at a time, and I was like, no, it literally just, that section was missing in the audio file.
Did you report it? Did you report it to them?
I reported it to Scribed, and they're like, this is an issue we're aware of, and we're working on it. And I'm like, I'm not sure you understand what I'm saying, but we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I would recommend it. It's a little bit, it's funny, but it's also, there's heavy topics that she just talks about. So, but I enjoyed it. And then I told you this before we started recording. I wrote down a quote from a book without the name of the title of the book, and I was sitting here racking my brain, and I figured it out. So I started reading this book called A Single Swallow by Zhang Ling. And it is about it's really interesting because it's about these three guys, and they're telling basically like the story of like how they met up to their deaths. Like, they are telling the story basically from the afterlife. And it's interesting. But there was one line, and the line is, facing death is a form of bravery, but so is facing life. And I was just like, yeah, that's a really strong line. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so I wrote it down. I just didn't write down the context of it. But I'm glad I remembered it.
Where did this come from?
I was like, this is a really good line. But yeah, facing life is brave, damn it. It's scary out here.
Yeah.
So that was, I'm like maybe 25% of the way through this book. I have been going very slowly because it confuses me a little bit. Yeah. And then in terms of books, I finished The Witch Haven by Sasha Payton Smith. I think I said it when I first talked about it. I was about halfway through and I felt like nothing had happened. And then there was like some action, and then it went back to like nothing was happening, and then there was like the big climactic scene and like the twist and all of that, and I was like, and then so there was like little pockets of action, but I felt like the majority of it was kind of just, I don't know what's happening there. I mean, right. It was just very slow going. I enjoyed it, and I will read the sequel. I wouldn't say that it's like my favorite read, but I don't think it was bad. Yeah. So there's my glowing recommendation for The Witch Haven.
I think I have it on my shelf.
Yeah,
I just haven't ever.
It's a really pretty book.
Yeah, I think that's probably why. If it's over there, that's why.
Yeah. And then I also read the two books in the Aristotle and Dante series by Benjamin Alir Sains. Because
did you read them, or did Lin-Manuel read them to you?
Lin-Manuel read them to me, and it was lovely. It was wonderful.
I mean, it's still you reading, but it's cooler to say that Lin-Manuel read them to you.
Lin-Manuel Miranda read me Aristotle and Dante, and it was lovely. It was very, very lovely. He's an excellent narrator.
Oh, I'm sure.
I really enjoyed it.
Is there any man's not excellent at?
No, not a thing.
Not that we've found.
He's excellent at all the things. Yeah, it was very nice. So if you would like Lin-Manuel Miranda to read you a book, I highly recommend Aristotle. I keep saying it wrong. Aristotle and I combined them. Aristotle and Dante discover the universe, and Aristotle and Dante dive into the waters of
not ACOTAR, it's Aristotle.
Listen,
that's how you shorten it, like we do ACOTAR.
Listen, I ship them, okay? Aristotle and Dante. It's just easier to combine the names.
Yeah.
But yeah, the books are cute. And I think it's a really cute coming of age story. Lin-Manuel Miranda read it to me. The first book's being turned into, or has been turned into a movie. They're waiting for a ride release. So I enjoyed it. I highly recommend.
Yeah, I'll have to read Aristotle.
Shut up.
I
No, have
love it.
Lin-Manuel
It's
read
cute.
it to you.
I love it.
Have
I need him to
Lin-Manuel
read it to me.
He's an excellent narrator. It's a really cute story. I think it's a very cute story. So yeah. And then I read an arc of Mistakes Were Made by Meryl Wilsner. The book is out now because I took a really long time to read this arc. This is the one where there's the college girl who hooks up with an older woman at a bar and it turns out to be her best friend's mom. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite. I spent a lot of the time thinking, wow, you're an idiot.
Yeah. I hate when that happens.
I just like the two main characters they're just kind of really they not taking in like context clues. Like something happens about midway through the book and like just completely oblivious to it. And I'm like,
yeah,
I would like
wake up, guys, wake up.
As soon as it happened, I was like, before it even happened, I'm like, this is gonna happen, and then it did happen, and I was like, okay, now this is gonna happen, and it didn't happen because she's such an idiot. I was like, girl, why are you not connecting the dots here?
Every minute of ACOTAR, the first book, I'm screaming, Feyre, wake up, Feyre, what's wrong with you?
Oh my god. Yeah, I was just like, I mean, it was a fun time. It was really anticlimactic. I was you expect like with a story like this, I was kind of expecting like the big climactic scene would be like the daughter finding out and them getting into some like big heated argument kind of thing, you know? And that's not what happened. Yeah, it was weird. I enjoyed myself to a point, and then at some point I was just kind of like,
can I finish this?
I don't know how I feel about this because y'all are being real dumb, and it doesn't really seem like it doesn't feel like there's high stakes. Like you feel like there should be higher stakes, like not high stakes like life and death, but like when you're in a situation where you're hooking up with your friend's mom, like it feels like the stakes should be a little bit higher, and it didn't feel like that. So it's a fun quick read, but don't expect it to blow you away is how I think I would describe it. And the last thing that I have for reading, I have two things after that, but the last book I have written down is I'm reading an arc of Strike the Zither by Joan He, and it comes out on Tuesday actually. So I will be finishing that up this weekend. And it is pretty much like the complete opposite. It's like action packed right from the beginning, and I love it.
Oh yeah.
I'm very excited.
I'm amazed that it must be that I've seen it all over NetGalley, but I feel like I have seen that everywhere and I thought it was out.
Same.
Like, I don't know why. I don't know why I thought that. Like, so when you say it's an arc, I'm like, what?
Yeah, it doesn't come out till Tuesday, which is crazy because I was just at Barnes and Noble and I saw it on the shelf and I was like, y'all, what are you doing? And apparently if like I mean, I don't know if they're supposed to, but they're able to sell things before the publication date. Like people have bought things before. But that doesn't count towards like their first week sales.
New York Times.
Yeah. And so I was like,
it happened with Realm Bladebreaker. It happened with Bladebreaker in a couple of places, and Victoria Aveyard was like, please don't buy it.
Yeah,
please,
I think
if you see it, don't buy it yet.
I think the other one, I think maybe Stephanie Garber talked about it too. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, like I get being really excited about something and wanting to have it. Like we're such an instant gratification kind of society now. But yeah, if you want to support the author, like just wait.
Yeah.
Especially since it's like I don't know, for this one it's like 3 days away, something like that. But yeah, so but what I really loved so far, and this has nothing to do with the book itself, or actually it has everything to do with the physical book itself, not the story of the book. I opened this book and I'm flipping pages to get to the story, right? And it's a digital arc, but I'm flipping pages to get to the story, and I come across a gorgeous map, character art, character art, character art, and I'm just like,
love.
I love
That's
that
awesome.
so much. It's so cool. I was just like, this is awesome. Like, the characters are right here in front of me. And so now when I'm going into it, I
Know
feel
what they
like,
look like.
yeah, it's very fun. I'm like, I want to say like 15-20% into this book. I haven't gotten into it very far, but I'm really enjoying it so far. And it does feel like it's a lot of action without being overwhelming. Like superhero movies feel like they're pounding it into you, like all the action. Whereas this is just, it's not action just to be action. It's actually like, this is how the story progresses. Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I will
very cool
have a blog post up about that soon. Or by the time you're listening to this episode, I will have already posted a blog post.
Already there.
So that's what I've been reading or have read. And Beth and I reinstated movie nights. We've took quite a few weeks off because just life happens. So we were trying to figure out what to watch. We had no idea whose turn it was to pick a movie. I was just scrolling on Amazon, and Amazon was like, we recommend this. We think you would enjoy it. And I'm scrolling, and it's a movie called Go Back to China, which sounds bad. Gosh. It sounds like kind of bad when you just take it, go back to China out of context.
By the title.
But it's about a spoiled rich girl who has her trust fund taken away from her dad unless she goes back to China to work for him in his toy business.
Yeah.
And she like is really unlikable at the beginning, and then she goes back to China and she sees like the conditions, she sees like what's going on, and you can see her like softening it up. And yeah, and it's very cute. And her dad, I was telling to Beth, I was like, I am having flashbacks of my childhood. This is traumatizing. Like, this man, oh Jesus Christ. So yeah, but he is kind of like not a great boss. He's just yelling. And, you know, it's in China, so he's like yelling at people. He's like throwing things, throwing tantrums, like just like not great. And then there's a part near the end, and it's very cute, very moving moment. And Beth was like, and that was the day the Grinch's heart grew 3 sizes. So it's like, that is exactly what just happened. And I like that.
Yeah.
It was a really cute movie. There's a part where she hugs her dad, and they're like, I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm like, that is not believable. And it's not just because they hugging is, it just doesn't seem right. Like, I don't know that I've hugged my parents. Not like it. I was just like, I don't know. Asian people just don't really hug, it feels like within their family. I don't know. And so she was like, they feel awkward. I was like, yeah, because it doesn't happen.
Yeah, because it is awkward.
It is awkward. It's very awkward. Anytime like I like hug my mom, I don't think I've ever hugged my dad, but anytime I hug my mom,
you should go hug your dad and see what it is.
Oh, I feel weird just thinking about doing that. Like it feels, I already feel uncomfortable. I love my parents, but it's just not who we are. That's just not our relationship. So yeah, I thought it was a really cute movie. It was fun, and I enjoyed it, and it is a lot of like, it's all about family and love and understanding like how to break like generational trauma, essentially, which is great. We love breaking generational trauma.
Yeah, millennials.
That's what we're trying to do. And then the last thing I watched, actually, I forgot to write something down. I watched Lizzo's Watch Out for the Big Girls, her little competition show.
Oh, I love her. I haven't seen it, but I love her.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's like 8 episodes, and it was really fun. It's not like a regular competition show where like something happens this week and then somebody gets eliminated at the end of the week, you know? Lizzo's trying to get more backup dancers for her tour. And in this series, it's mostly to get somebody to perform with her on the stage at Bonnaroo. And so that's kind of what they're all working towards, is like getting on that stage. And so it's obviously it's a lot of body positivity. It's a lot of girls supporting girls. It's so, and these women are just were immediately just so supportive of each other. Like, they know that they're technically auditioning for the same spot, but they also were like so overjoyed when one person would succeed.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just it's the kind of thing that I needed, and just like, you need that joy and love. So yeah. And there were some people who did get eliminated, but it was done in such a way where she was like, listen, I think you're amazing, but the fit right now is not there. Like, go do what you need to do, and then come back, and then we can revisit. And it was just
keep
like,
going.
Yeah. And she was just, I fucking love Lizzo. Fucking love Lizzo.
I do too.
She's so awesome. So if you have like a few hours to spare, like, it's just a feel good watch. And then the last thing I watched, this was suggested, like, when you go on Amazon, and it's like you have this selected, but they're like, if you like this, then you can watch this, and it's like similar. So when we were watching Go Back to China, one of the things that was recommended is this movie called Love Contractually. And I was like reading it, and it's like, so this woman has like given up on love. She thinks the only love that's worth a damn is the love you have for your child. So all she wants to do is have a child. So she like fakes like hiring somebody to be her personal assistant, but really she's like looking for like a sperm donor kind of thing.
Love for yeah.
And so yeah. And so then it's like, are they get like all this time that they're now spending together, are they actually gonna fall in love, kind of thing, And I read the description. I was like, that sounds really interesting. I was gonna recommend it, and then I realized it was like language. It's a C drama. It's a Chinese drama, and I was just like, my childhood. I'm like getting back to my roots. I haven't watched a C drama since I was a child. This was really, so I put it on last night. Like really late last night. I probably shouldn't have put it on because it was so late, but I put it on anyways. And it was everything that I remember C-dramas to be, and it's great.
Amazon knew you needed it.
It was amazing. I loved it. And not because it was some great masterpiece, but it was so just like the vibes were so nostalgic. Like, and it was so dramatic.
Netflix did that to me. I didn't watch it, but the other day when I was sick, I was just in bed scrolling, and it did that. It brought up A Little Princess.
Oh.
And I have not thought about that movie since 1996, 1997. Yeah. And I started to watch it, but I was like, no, maybe I should watch it with the twins. Like, show them what I used to watch when I was. I mean, they're too old for it, really. I mean, they're not young enough to care about it. But I'm gonna watch that soon.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just know that you need some nostalgia.
I know. And so now I'm just like, well, maybe I might, because they listed a bunch of other ones as well. Well, like when I clicked on that one, then there were like more recommended under it. And so more. Yeah.
I need to just keep watching.
I will say.
Keep scrolling.
And I need to know if other people who are like have a similar experience. Anybody who knows a second language well enough to have a conversation in that language, but not well enough to say that you're fluent in it. When you're watching a movie in that language, do you get confused? Because this movie, I was expecting it to be in Mandarin, because that's just what I expect when I see the word Chinese, because Mandarin is predominantly what people speak. It was not. It was in Cantonese. So I could understand it, but there's also English subtitles. And so I kept confusing myself because I'm listening to it, understanding it, but also trying to read the subtitles. And of course, when you're translating from any language to another, it doesn't match up exactly.
Nothing's going to be perfect.
And so I kept having to be like, okay, you need to pick one. You either listen to the words and understand, or you read it and you understand. And I was like, I think I need to read, because there's going to be like bigger words that I'm not like going to be understanding. But every now and then I just be like, wait, what's happening? Let me rewind.
I can't remember what the movie was, because I used to be like you said, able to hold a conversation in French. And even now, if I were to go to France, I would not starve to death. I could get a hotel, I could find food, I could find the bathroom, the train. But if I were to read a book in French, I couldn't do it. If I were to, I'm not fluent at all. I'm very rusty now. I used to be better. And my mom and I went and saw a movie that was French with English subtitles, and I did the same where it was like I was trying, because it was like, oh, I know this language, like, and then it's
you
like,
feel so familiar,
because you take into account accents are different that you're used to, and thing that you don't know if you've traditionally studied the language, but not they're not going to tell you what slang is,
yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a pretty universal experience.
It was just like, I was like, I feel comfortable. It's like, okay, I think the best way to describe it is like, I understand Cantonese really well, but when I hear Cantonese, I have to translate it into English in my mind in order to understand it. Like, I don't just understand it versus like when I read English, I just straight up understand it. Whereas my parents, when they hear Cantonese, they don't need to translate anything. They just understand what's happening. And so I'm like in my head listening, trying to translate while still reading the English translation and then confusing myself because obviously I'm going to translate it a little bit differently than whoever actually translated it, because of, like you said, like it's different.
It's not exactly the
so
same.
It was a little confusing for me at first, and then I realized what I had to do, and I was like, okay, stop trying to be Chinese. Pretend you're just an American who knows no other languages.
Be an ignorant American who didn't get taught anything.
So
like most of us.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It's, the story is insane. Crazy shit happens, but it's like, that's just how Chinese cinema is. And I'd forgotten how like dramatic and insane.
Similar to like telenovelas. Telenovelas are like, when I would be in high school and I would stay home. I took Spanish in college some, and in middle school some, but I'm better with French. But I would sit there sick and just like be fully engrossed in a telenovela. I had no idea what they were saying, but it was so dramatic that you're like, oh my God, you knew what was happening, even if you didn't have the language. It was like,
exactly.
He slept with her when he's married to her, and her mama found out, and now they're all about to kill him, and it's just a whole thing. I remember that.
It's fun. It's fun. Like, if you don't mind English subtitles on a movie, I would recommend it. It's called Love Contractually, and it's on Amazon Prime. It's fun times. That was my 2.5 week recap thing. Your turn.
This is gonna be a long episode.
The last one was real short, so it's fine.
Yeah,
real short.
I don't think. So go back. Go back to China would have been such a good segue, and I don't think I've talked about this yet, and because there's a similar storyline in a arc I read. It's called "You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince" by Timothy Janowski.
Oh yeah.
It is so precious. But it's like very Schitt's Creek vibes. So you follow like the main character is Matthew Prince. His dad is old money, just wealthy beyond being able to fathom it. And his mom is new money, not from like she wasn't rich by his dad. She's an author, a very celebrated author who she's got a lot of money, but she earned it. They got together, and they're mostly together because they're a power couple, and they just are good with wanting to be the power couple. And so they raised him in the lap of luxury, and he buys an island on an Amex card, and his parents are pissed because they're like, you don't just buy islands. Like, we didn't raise you to be spoiled. Like, both of his parents hustle. Like, they aren't like the rich people who just jet around and do whatever. Like, they are like workaholics.
Yeah.
So they cut up all his cards, and they take most of his clothes, and they send him to, I think it's Massachusetts, northern New York, Massachusetts, to the Berkshires. To live with like in this cabin with his mom's parents, who have like always like, they don't want any of the money. They want to live humbly and honestly. Like they don't have anything against their daughter. They just don't want to be handed anything. everything. They're very proud people, and hardworking in and of themselves. So they have his grandfather is like a professor at a college in the area, and they have one of his students living there with them because he is like has a brilliant mind, but his whole family's in Texas and he doesn't have a lot of money. So they're like, I don't want your mind to be wasted. This is the best place you could be. This is the best program you could be in. Live with us, help us around our cabin. We'll pay you and give you board and room and board. And you can just be here. They end up having to, so grandfather, because the kid Matthew used to have a room in their house like when he'd go for Christmas and stuff. Well, grandfather can't make it up and downstairs anymore, so they've converted his bedroom into an office. So the basement has a bunk bed where Matthew and this roommate have to sleep in bunk beds, and he's used to like California King, the greatest mattress in the world, luxury. There's one scene where he's wearing a cashmere sweater and they're like wanting him to shovel. He's like, my cashmere? No, it was a sticker. They wanted to put a sticker on his cashmere sweater, and he was like, that sticker will utterly ruin. And they were like, you can't go in, you can't come in with that. It's just very cute, and it's the Grinchy moment of you just through 3 sizes a day. Obviously, from it's a cartoon cover romance. Obviously, he and the roommate, I'm forgetting his name, fall in love.
I love
it's been like 3 weeks.
Right.
So it was very cute. It kind of bothered me that it came out in the middle of October. I wish it would have come out early December, because like right now I'm wanting to read all the witchy Halloween books, but it's Tuesday, it's November 1st, it's Christmas here. Okay. I give thanks its day, but Christmas is November 1st for me. Loved for that to have come out in Christmas season, because what he does is he ends up, his parents say, you can come back once you show us that you can be responsible and that you are not this spoiled brat. We didn't raise you to be spoiled like this. They did, because they were so busy working that they just left him to his credit cards, and let him quit a lot of things that he should have stuck with. Didn't teach him to stick around. They told him, if you don't like that sport, you can quit. If you don't like that, you don't have to go. So he decides to help his grandparents like a Christmas festival in the town that raises money every year for a certain organization. And so he helps, and that's when he, there's lots of drama along the way, but the small town Hallmark movie.
I love it.
It's very, very cute. I highly recommend it. It was very precious.
I love that.
And then I had to go to work. I'm having to go to my office every Tuesday, and I am sitting there and I'm like, I've got to find an audiobook to listen to, because I can't just sit here for hours all day. Like, I don't have a dog to pet. I have to work, but I can't I'd still be sitting there on that Tuesday. And so I open my email and I have an arc for the audiobook of The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. God. So I started it immediately. I finished it on the way back from Florida, because like my husband drove most of the time, so I listened and played Dreamlight Valley like if we were in the car. It was so good, just like I knew it would be. I am dying for the 3rd book because of the way it ends. And I still this doesn't matter to anybody who hasn't read it yet, or hasn't read the Atlas 6 yet, but I still hate Tristan. I still hope Tristan dies. I still hope Colum dies. All I care about is Nico de Verona, truly. There's a blog up about it, because I don't want to give too much away, because I know you haven't even read the Atlas 6 yet, so I definitely it's the whole plot is a spoiler from the Atlas 6, because something major happens, and the whole plot is dealing with that major thing. I did have one complaint about the audio file or the audiobook, is that there's this character Parisa who is kind of her talent is she can get into people's minds, and she can like read minds and like literally walk around and talk to you in your mind. And she uses her sexuality to kind of control men in that way if she wants to. And it's supposed to be like this vixen character, and that's great. but the narrator for her just sounded like she was asleep. So it was like I had to have my phone up at max volume, and it was so hard to understand what she was saying because she literally just mumbled her way through it. And so I mean, I put it in my review for NetGalley that like I did not love this. This was very difficult. But overall, I freaking loved it. I freaking loved it. I played, like I've already said, I played a lot of Dreamlight Valley. I'm addicted. Me and one of my nieces are addicted. It's gotten a lot more frustrating. There's a lot of glitches that they're dealing with because it's not officially released yet. This is like early release that they're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's been a lot of fun. I'm besties with Remy and Wally and Mickey and Merlin and other people. We're best friends. And then I will show you the book during Where My Money Went, but I had pre-ordered It Starts With Us, which was the sequel to It Ends With Us, and it came out this past week. So I read it in a day. It was so good. It was so good. I got the audiobook for work because again, it was on a Tuesday. So I got the audiobook and listened to it at work. And then when I got home, the physical book was waiting for me. Thank you, Amazon. So I finished it that night. Atlas Corrigan is God tier book boyfriend for real. He's always been wonderful. He's always been wonderful. I laughed, I cried. It was great. And I've been sick, so I really after that hadn't been doing a lot of reading, but one day I got up and I'm going to make Brunswick stew so I can have something like a hot soupy stewy something to just nuke and eat that'll make my throat feel better, that has vegetables in it and is semi good for you. So I did that. And so I was just going through Scribed and I found Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, which I've read. So I've been kind of casually listening to that. I don't super love it. This is the first book of hers where I felt I've seen why people hate her. Not why they hate her, but why they don't want to read her work, because this is a very predictable romance author where I know that she's better than this, and this has been an early book. So yeah, I don't know that it's for me. But obviously I'm gonna finish because I'm not a quitter.
We don't quit
I
here.
got this this isn't Where My Money Went, but it's here because I've been working on it very slowly. I'm like not even maybe like 20 pages in. I'm reading Payback Switch because I got the arc of Back in a Spell, which means I have to read Payback's a Witch from Bad to Cursed before I can read it.
How come you have it and what? This is unfair.
Did you go request it?
I requested as soon as it came up. I requested it.
Oh,
this is unfair.
Sorry.
I'm the one who told you to read this book.
I know. I've had it for a year.
I'm so crabby.
To be fair, I didn't. When I requested it, I didn't know that it was the third book in a series. I just like the cover.
Yeah, it's really pretty. It's very pretty.
And I bought this apparently at Lumeria Books, which is that really cool bookstore I went to in Jackson, Mississippi. Because if I buy books at like a cool bookstore or something, I'll keep like the bookmark in it. Or like if Josh gets me, they always like off of Amazon, they come with like a little gift receipt. So that I'll open a book and I'll find like, oh, he bought this for me on this day.
Fun.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to rub that in your face.
It's fine. Survive. Whatever. No big deal. This is payback.
I haven't been. Yeah.
It's payback for Fire and Starlight.
This is the universe telling you to butt. So the past few days, like I said, I've been sick, and so reading has been out of the question. I just have been delirious. So I have been watching a lot of Great British Baking Show because it's my comfort show. So I just lay there and follow and feeling crummy and watching Noel tell people Well, who's Starbaker?
That just reminded me that we binged the new season of Nailed It.
Yeah,
and binged
the twins
that.
watched that recently.
And then they like recommended this other show called Easy Bake Bake Off that's hosted by Anthony from Queer Eye. So I binged all of that. And then our friend Darcy's new project, Waffles and Mochi's Restaurant.
I haven't watched it either.
Binged all of that too. Wow, I watched a lot of stuff.
I slept a lot more than I did anything this week.
Oh yeah, well, you needed it.
Lots of cold meds and sleeping. But yesterday Josh went to work for a little bit and the twins were in their rooms doing their own things, and I was like, I can't sleep anymore. Like my body was just like, nah, girl, no. Mm-hmm. So what is it? You look like something bad happened.
Yesterday was a Saturday.
He's weird. Okay.
I don't like that.
Yeah. So the thing is, he took off Friday, and he is like, he's got flexible work stuff to where he can, if he takes off Friday, he can go in and fix everything that, he didn't get to do Friday on Saturday, which I don't ever want to do. Don't ever ask me to work on a Saturday ever. But he did. And so I was laying on the couch and I was like, I'm gonna watch Practical Magic. So I watched Practical Magic. It's so cozy and lovely. In so long. Yeah. So it's on, it's Prime. I think it's Amazon. I think it's Prime Video is where I watched it.
Oh my God. I've forgotten so much stuff. I watched Hocus Pocus too, finally.
Oh yeah?
I was like, I keep forget. Apparently, I forgot a lot of things. You keep saying things, and I'm being reminded of it. Yeah, we watched Hocus Pocus too. I agree. I thought it was fun. It was campy, and it was exactly what it needed to be. There was nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad movie at all.
I had no problems with it. And my daughter was like, "When do you think Hocus Pocus 3 is coming?" And this is before it ended. And I'm like, I don't think they're doing a Hocus Pocus 3. And then the very end, I was like, oh, they might do a Hocus Pocus 3.
Yeah, it was very, very cute. And I don't get the you can see what I mean now. Is it gonna win any awards? Probably not. It was cute.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I didn't feel like I wasted 2 hours. Like I felt like I didn't want my time back.
Right, exactly.
It was still cute. Okay. Last thing I did, you and I are a house divided on, is we watched School for Good and Evil last night, and I thought it was so good. I don't get the hate.
I don't think it's bad. I just was kind of
I don't mean you hate. I've just seen some hate.
Has there been hate? I don't know. I thought it was a cute movie. I thought it was fun. I don't think it's something that I would rewatch. And there were some parts that I was just like, I don't know how I feel. The visuals are stunning. The costumes are stunning.
Yeah, that's like the thing that I was so obsessed with. It was like, I want to go to the School for Evil right now. Right. I want the dresses this girl is wearing right now.
Yeah, like it was visually, it was beautiful. The costumes were amazing. It was just, and so I had read something that the author was like, it's different from the books. I haven't read the books, so I don't know.
I haven't either. I'm gonna order them. He's gonna be at Y'all Fest.
Oh, fun. So, but I don't have anything. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think it's bad. Yeah. It was just like, I feel like there was a part of me that was hoping that it would kind of, I don't know, like cause more of a reaction in me than I got.
Yeah.
Especially with such like stars in it,
I was going to say, it's so unfair how Charlize and Michelle and Carrie don't age.
They don't.
I'm like, what is happening?
Not at all.
What is happening here?
Yeah. But yeah, like I think I was kind of expecting just more feeling, like more myself to just feel more. Like I felt like I didn't feel as much. Like I enjoyed myself, but I feel like a part of me was just hoping to be like blown away.
I wasn't blown away. I just thought it was so good. And I also watched it with 2 13-year-olds who were super into it. And when we watched, because I was like, let me show y'all the preview for the movie and y'all decide if y'all want to watch it while we eat dinner. And one of them is a big Shadow and Bone girl like I am. And so Jesper from Shadow and Bone is in it, and I didn't realize this. And so we're watching the one trailer I hadn't watched, and his face shows up in the mirror, and we both just, it was the funniest thing. We both just like looked at each other and grabbed each other and screamed and, like in each other's faces, like, ah.
Okay.
So,
okay.
I mean, him being there as the villain was like chef's kiss for us, because it's
That's fair.
He's such a sweet baby angel in Shadow and Bone, and so like he's so precious, and so seeing him do something different is like, oh,
that's always fun.
We loved him.
I mean, for me, I think I wrote it in my review, like I signed up for this screening specifically because I saw Michelle Yeoh was in the cast. And so probably a part of me was just hoping that there would be more of her, because I fucking love her.
There should have been.
I feel like she had so much more
probably
story.
Will be.
She felt like she had so much more story. It's
probably coming.
Yeah.
Especially if she said that she was the history teacher and made her when they changed it. I feel like she's gonna have McGonagall vibes coming soon.
I loved her. Her character was I was like, when she first came on screen in the beautification class, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And then when we get to her later, I was like,
that's what it's supposed to make you feel, though. Yeah.
And
just like when you see all the go for it.
Oh no, I was gonna say I was like, all of it just drove me crazy. The introduction
when you see all the princes come out, and it's like like the twins and I are both sitting there going, like, look at all those nerds. I would rather be at the school for villains. I wouldn't go to the school for evil. I don't want to sit with these D-bags.
I loved the message of the whole movie. Like, I loved it. You know, I did, and like I said, I haven't read the books, so I don't know if these characters in the books are like physically described. But for me, it felt a little bit icky that we have the POC cast as the witch, like, or she's the one who's the outcast in her society and they're calling her a witch. Like, I feel like I didn't really get why she was like the witch in her town, like, and so it felt a little icky to me.
She becomes the hero,
right? So but like
that.
when we first start the movie, I'm just like, I feel a little bit icky, and then like she gets dropped in the school for good, and then you see like why she was dropped in that school, and you're like, okay, I feel a little bit better about this, because obviously she's not actually like the bad guy, you know, but it was just like, I don't know, something about it at the very beginning just rubbed me the wrong way. But then as it progressed, I was like, okay. But
can we have a moment about her hair? Because it's so freaking beautiful. The twins were like, I'm never cutting my hair again. I'm never cutting my hair again. I want it to be like that.
Hair.
Yes,
it was amazing. I loved it so much. I loved it so much. It was so good. What is her name? The one that the princess looking one?
Sophie and Aggie.
Sophie. What was going on with her eyebrows? Like at the beginning, there was something going on with her eyebrows.
I said that to twins. I was like, it's really bothering me how dark and big her eyebrows are compared to her hair. It doesn't match her hair at all.
Yes.
And if it's supposed to be her natural hair, you would think that the eyebrows would match. I mean, I know they didn't want to go like original Thor, where she didn't have eyebrows because they were so blonde. They didn't have to be that dark. Like,
they were like
weird,
bushy, like they were big, and like they seemed like they were too big for her face. Okay, I'm glad it wasn't just me, because I was just like, what the hell is going on with her eyebrows? I don't understand. She's supposed to be like the quote-unquote princess type, and she should be looking more like quote-unquote perfect, and she got these eyebrows? What's going on?
Spoiler alert. I'm about to talk about the very end of the movie. If you don't want to hear about that, skip ahead 2 minutes. I sat up and told twins, whenever Sophie says, I'll go back to town and take care of your mother, it would be my honor if you want to stay here with homeboy. And I was like, if she stays for a boy, I'm going to be furious. If she stays, it should be for the school. If she stays, it should be, no, I want to see the school fixed. I want to So I was so glad that she decided to go home.
I was,
because as soon I was as, like, oh,
when she walked away from Sophie to what's his face, I was like, girl's not staying. There's no way this girl's staying. There's no fucking way this girl is staying for this boy. And I was like, don't. And then she turned around and was like, yeah. That's exactly what I expected.
Gave me the same feelings as Frozen did, where I was like sisterly loved.
Yes.
Love saved the day.
Yes.
And I even like, because I have identical twin nieces that live here half the time, and I even had the conversation with them when Raphael kills his brother. It's like, because of his greed and all of this, and I was like, your sister over everything. Okay.
Yep.
Because he comes up, a spoiler, comes up and stabs his brother in the literal back. No ma'ams. No ma'ams. No.
Yeah. And I mean, I straight up was like, the act of true love that's gonna save her is her friend kissing her, because it's true love between friends. That's a thing too. Like, there's true love, there's different kinds of love, and I love that, you know, that message. It's like, true love doesn't have to just be a romantic partner.
Right.
Like, it can be anybody. It can be your sister, your bestie,
this little guy,
your puppy.
This is true.
Yes, exactly.
My baby.
So there's actually
more true than my boy.
My daughter has a book that's called Reading Beauty, and it's basically like a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but the girl is like, they take away her books because the curse is that she's gonna get a paper cut and die, instead of, like, you know.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the book, I guess, spoiler alert, we know how Sleeping Beauty ends, but anyways, at the end of the book, there's the witch or fairy person, whoever, accidentally kills themselves with the spell, and then Reading Beauty, I forget her name, she has a dog with her, and the dog goes and licks the person, and he comes back to life. Yes. And she's like, well, he loves everybody. So that's just what. Yeah.
Listen, see? There's no like a proof. Love a dog can give you.
It's proof.
Because it's so pure. It's so pure.
So yeah, I love that message. Like, any kind of love. Love does not just mean romantic love. Like, yay. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So I thought it was good. And then also we went to Universal Studios last weekend. I should talk about that for a minute. So again, we went down for our friend Kyle's 40th birthday. And so we were gonna do 2 park days. So the first day we went and spent a lot of time in Harry Potter, Diagon Alley, doing Hogwarts and Gringotts. Did we ride Gringotts together? I don't think we rode Gringotts together that day. And just kind of, I don't know, shopping and getting ice cream and doing all the things. And then the next day, the people who were doing Halloween Horror Nights were going to go to the parks later because they didn't want to like be there when the park opens and then have to stay till 2 a.m.
Right.
So one twin didn't get a choice. The other decided not to go to Horror Nights. So the 3 of us had just a girls' day in the parks. So we went and we rode Hogwarts 3 times back to back. I think we rode Gringotts 4 times back to back. We rode the Mummy. We did a lot. We ate a lot. And then as Josh and our friends were coming into the parks, because the parks closed for Horror Nights,
right,
we were like, you know what? We're gonna go to Disney Springs. So we went to Disney Springs and we ate at Jock Lindsay's. We got just did a bunch of small plate appetizers for dinner and just like a feast of little meatballs, and there was a cheese board that was like made into a pretzel. So you had a big pretzel, but then you had all like the meats and cheeses and pickles. And then like a queso fundido dip too. Oh, so everything was so good. And then we went back to the hotel and just kind of chilled and played Dreamlight Valley. Came home. It was a lot of fun. I have stuff to show for where my money went, but it was a good trip. Even coming home with funk, it was still a lot of fun. The weather was perfect. It was awesome. We did on the park day where it was just me and the twins, we went to this place called Cowfish on City Walk, and one of the twins loves sushi, so we went so that she could have sushi. When they were little, they did like little bentos that had like sushi, and then they made a rice crispy treat with it was like a piece of sugar paper and then a Swedish fish fish wrapped in like a Twizzler. So it was like a dessert sushi.
Yeah.
And like all other stuff. Obviously it's too old for that now because it's like 3 bites of food.
Yeah.
But I got what's called cheeseburger. So they make like a mixture of ground beef and cheese, and they cook that, then they wrap it in riced potatoes and fry it and get up like sushi. It is so freaking, because I don't do fish.
Right.
My dad's allergic, so I never. But I go to sushi places so that they can get it. So yeah, I got my cheeseburger rushi. I freaking love it. It's so delicious. And we got to sit, because the lobby for the restaurant is on like the ground floor, but like the actual restaurant is a second floor. So we sat outside on a balcony and you could just see Hogwarts in the distance. So it was like, oh, look, there it is. So yeah, it was a good trip. I only wanted to come home because my dogs were here and my baby niece was here. Other than that, I still want to be there. So that is my long-winded past few weeks in fangirling.
We've been gone a bit.
Yeah, we have.
All right. Yeah. Fictional boyfriend of the 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
I've got 2, so it tracks.
You can go first because I don't know that I have any.
I cannot not Atlas Corrigan from it ends with us and it starts with us, because I'm telling you, like, oh my god. Probably one of my top 5 fictional men of all time, for real. Okay. Like wonderful. And then Nico de Verona from the Atlas Society, the Atlantean Society, because oh my god, I love Nico so much. Oh, I just love him. So yeah, he's still being wonderful even in the paradox.
Excellent.
Have you had time to pick a fictional man or woman? Or...
You know what? There is... Oh, God. What's his name? I think his name's Oliver in The Witch Haven. I'm gonna go with Oliver. I feel like if you read The Witch Haven, you're gonna pick the other guy, whose name I can't remember. I just have a feeling. But I'm gonna go with Oliver. I don't know. Okay. I feel like you would pick the other guy, but you would also have a soft spot for Oliver because he's like childhood friend.
See, I like childhood friend though. That would be hard because like
I know
Red Queen, all I cared about is Kalorn.
Because like you have a soft spot for childhood friends, but also like morally gray men.
Yeah. God, I can't read that. I would never be able to choose.
I feel like that you would probably pick the other guy and not Oliver.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna. I'm going on record. I think Mandy's gonna pick whatever his name. What is his name? Why can't I remember?
Like those TikTok videos where it's like it's like the gender reveals. I'm the mommy, and I think you're. I'm the Karin, and I think that Mandy is gonna choose the other guy.
I think so. I have a feeling that you will choose the other guy, and I'll be. And I can have Oliver, and we will be okay. Like, I think we both will be like, okay, I enjoy both of these, but you'll pick him, and I'll pick Oliver. That's what I'm gonna go with. This is me. Okay. I'm going on the record, and if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. I will own up to it.
In a few years, when I get to that book,
exactly,
in the never-ending TBR, we'll come back to this.
But now we have it on a recording, so we will not forget.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, where did your money go?
All right, I'll start with, I didn't bring a lot of the stuff up that we bought on a trip just because some of it's in the laundry and some of it's already in a case. So George Bailey and I will post a picture of this once I wash mine. George Bailey and I got matching, I guess I already have one I could post. We got matching Halloween spirit jerseys. So while we were in Florida, I guess I could have mentioned this, we went to Trader Sam's Grotto 2 nights in a row because my husband and Kyle are avid tiki mug collectors, and all of us are like in the tiki vibe. Like we love a tiki bar. And it's at Disney. The twins could go.
Yep.
So the first night we like for dinner, we did like same thing, small plates and drinks. And there's Captain Cook's next door, got like big bowls of chicken noodles and so much fun. So we got 3 tiki mugs. I'm looking at them, they're across the room. We Nautilus, we got a white pearl. Kyle got a black pearl, which is rare. Went over and kind of wink wink nudge nudge, hey, my best friend's 40th is this weekend, and he's been trying for years for a black pearl. And then when I went to Jock Lindsay's with the twins, I got like a bamboo style tiki glass for Josh, even if he wasn't there. But while we were there, we went through the Polynesian Hotel, and they have a store called, I think it's Moana Mercantile, and then they have Boutique, and in Boutique they have all of this Halloween merch out. And one of them is like a Halloween spirit jersey. So it's orange on the bottom, black on top, and it's ombre. And I think it's little ghosts on the lettering on the back. My husband's a ghost hunter. I was like, oh, I love this. It's expensive. I don't want to buy it. They didn't have my size. So it was like, thank God. I'm not going to buy it. But Josh does buy me, and I'll post a picture of this, a Halloween lounge fly. It's like Disney, and it's got like, I think it's got Mickey as a pumpkin, and there's little ghosts, and it's very precious. So just Halloween print lounge fly, he gets that. So then we, go in the parks, and I buy, we get a Halloween Horror Nights pin. I got Slughorn's wand. I got, because that one was free. If you bought a gift card for a certain amount and used it on merch, you'd get a free wand, and I knew we were going to use it on merch. So got that, and we got a Wizarding World. I'm like, if I'm going to spend it anyways, I'll take the $60 wand.
Well, that's how I like when we do Disney. If you buy a Disney gift card at Target and use your Target card, you get 5% off. It's free. It's literally free money. So, and I know I'm going to spend it. So totally agree with this decision.
And so one of the things I bought with it though was the Wizarding World of Harry Potter collector's wand. So I don't know what makes it collectible, but it looked cool. And then while we were in the parks, the first day, we found out that Robbie Coltrane passed.
R.I.P.
And so,
Robbie Coltrane.
yes, years ago, I feel like I have to stop going with them, because 7 years ago, I'm with my best friend Brandy in line for the Hulk, and we hear that Stan Lee has passed.
Oh no.
But at the same time, it's like, this is the perfect place to be. Like, I'm standing in line to ride the Hulk. He passes, Robbie Coltrane passes, and we're literally sitting on the steps in Diagon Alley next to Gringotts, looking out at Diagon Alley, and Kyle looks up and says, oh my God, Robbie Coltrane died. So I kind of sat on it for a minute. I found it was like a little toy plastic light up Hagrid's wand, and I was like, I don't want something hokey. Like, I wish they made the real wand, like his real full size. Oh, they do. I found it the next day and bought it. It's a legitimate umbrella size, opens up, but is the wand. I'll post a picture of it. Yeah, it's in my cabinet downstairs. It is so cool. And I was like, I hated to spend the money, but at the same time, it was like, I mean, he passed this weekend. He was Hagrid to all of us. I feel like it's fitting to buy. Exactly.
And so everybody's been reposting that screenshot of the special where he's like, in 50 years.
In 50 years.
Unfortunately, I won't be here, but Hagrid will. And as soon as I watched that, and when he said that, I was like, oh no. Why, Robbie? Why would you say that?
Yeah. Listen, I found out about Rick at work, and at the time, cubicle was like, we had half wall cubicles, and mine was like across from my boss, so we shared a wall. And she heard me sniffling, and she stood up, and she was like, "Are you?" And I was like, "No,
I was in line at Disney. I was in DCA. It was one of the Cars rides. I can't remember which one. It was my birthday, and I opened my phone while we're waiting in line for this ride to find out that Stephen Sondheim had died. And I spent the wait in line crying. And I was just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
It's rough.
I should not be crying on my birthday. Damn it.
Yeah.
But, sometimes they hit you. There are just some people that
I know.
are
Robbie
too
Coltrane's
good for
one
this
of
world.
them.
Yep.
Our whole childhood. Like,
Yeah.
J.K. Rowling is trash. She's always going to be trash. It does not negate the fact that we loved this man for literally decades.
Yep.
Literally decades that I loved this man. It's not his fault that she's terrible, right? I know that some purchase went to her, and I hate that, but I mean, she's got so much money that it doesn't matter if I buy things or not, honestly. She's gonna have that money.
You say the tweet that she wrote about,
I don't want to.
Somebody asked her how she sleeps at night,
and oh yeah, I did,
and I was just like, bitch.
Yeah,
she's
awful.
The worst. She's the worst.
Yeah, and I hate, like, it's such a war because I hate supporting her in any way, but I also, what am I going to tell the kids that, you know, love Harry Potter and riding the Gringotts, and
we do what we can to offset it. Like, she gets royalties, but if we are donating to, like, the Trevor Project or something, they get the full funds. We do what we can, and it's hard for us as cis people to, and I know we should, like, people can call us bad allies or whatever, but like, it was indeed, like, our childhood, and it's hard. It's hard. We can only do the best that we can. So,
and we have a friend who has posted several times who talks about how, like, there are so many other people who have been involved in making this world that's not her, that they don't deserve to buffer, and be canceled and not ever see another dime because she's awful.
Right.
So yeah, I need to make a donation like I did when we saw Fantastic Beasts to offset.
Yeah.
Because we did that with the Trevor Project, so that, doesn't make it go away that I spent money. She's gonna see, even though, again, it'll be pennies from my purchase, but I don't, at the same time,
it's what we can do. It's what we can do. Like, we're doing our best, and you can't do better than your best. That's literally all you can do is your best. And so we're trying. And if you don't agree with that, then that's fine. Like, you're entitled to your opinion. Like, if you think that we're continuing to support her and not being good allies, then, that is your right. Like, that's, and I understand that. I understand it, but it's the best that we can do. So
yeah, I'm doing my best.
Yep.
I also did, specifically because the cost reduced, I know they'll likely go up. I also got Ravenclaw robes, like legit robes from Madame Malkin's, because the price dropped like $80 from the last time I was there, and it was like, I've wanted these my whole life since I was and so I finally was like, you have adult money.
Yeah.
You're an adult money. And if you want those, guess what you can have?
Nice.
They wrap them, or they fold them up like a little hat. Like, it looks like a little hat. I haven't, I'll send you a picture, but I haven't taken it apart yet.
Yeah.
Because she's like folding it, and then wasn't paying attention. And then I come back and it's like sitting on the counter in like a little
Oh my God. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was super cool. I think that's it on travel. I think Josh did get me a shirt at Horror Nights that said "I'm the treat," and it's got like a pumpkin and all kinds of stuff on it.
Love that.
I know, it was so cute.
That's very cute.
So that my money didn't go here, but I do have I don't know if I showed this or not last time we recorded because it's been a while, but I had won a giveaway from Molly J. Greeley for Marvelous, which is,
I think you mentioned it, but you hadn't gotten it yet.
Yeah, so the book came in. So this is an arc that I have actually approved through NetGalley, but it's not due until February. I haven't gotten to it yet. And so she did like a giveaway on her Instagram. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and she asked like what your favorite fairy tale was growing up. It's like, mine honestly was Beauty and the Beast. And I guess she did a random number generator, and I won it. So it's autographed. She put a little note in it, and it's such a gorgeous cover.
It is beautiful.
I'm super excited.
For a second, I spaced out and I thought it said Molly Weasley, and I was very like, what?
I would buy anything that woman wrote ever. Okay.
Yes. 100%. But it was just a funny moment. I was like, wait, what does that say?
Yeah.
Molly what?
Molly Weasley.
Molly Weasley, okay.
What is she doing? I also got my Fairy Loot adult book only books. My first one is Spells for Forgetting,
So
and those
pretty. That's
are like
so
I opened
gorgeous.
them in the car, and my niece was like leaning over the seat, and our jaws just dropped. And then it's got like
gorgeous
art, and it's freaking beautiful. I know I sent you a video, but
yeah, it's
like stunning. A green with gold embossing. I'm blown away.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. Well, you'll get them.
I get the next one. I get the next one. Yeah.
My pre-order of It Starts With Us came in. I just got a paperback just because at the time they were doing that pre-order incentive to get like 2 chapters early, and I frantic just was on Amazon. So I also ordered off of, I got this off of, I don't know, it's Amazon, it's not Pango. I got Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I've heard it both ways. Because I got Babel, which is supposed to be a response to this.
Oh,
so I want to read this first, since this is like a response. And
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah. So you'll see an arcane history as the title, and then every now and then it'll also, and it might say it in the book, and a research criticism of this. Let me do the music. Like now I want to know.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
I'm Jupiter musicking it.
That's why I'm dancing.
Oh, it's a tonal, a thematic response to the secret history and a tonal retort to Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell.
Oh, interesting.
But this look, I could hurt somebody with
that. Is a thick book.
This book is. Let me see.
That is a thick boy.
This is 1,006 pages.
Stop. That is a thick boy.
Yeah.
All right.
So get to that, and then Babel, which I just got a Barnes and Noble version because we were there.
Yeah.
Eventually. Yeah. And I think that is. Oh, I got my novelty chest and Once Upon a Book Club boxes in, but I don't have to show you those because you have 2, or you're gonna get them too.
I got novelty chest, which obviously I loved because it's Foul Lady Fortune. And I love the edges. It's very pretty. And I looked at it and I was like, that's clever. That's clever. Mm-hmm. Because I've read the book. But October hasn't come yet, so no, I don't have Once Upon a Book Club. I have October coming.
Mine just got here yesterday, I think.
September's, because
I don't know. Well, they don't do monthly boxes anymore. They do theme boxes.
No, they do.
They don't have an October box.
No, they do. They all say they're monthly.
They shouldn't anymore. They had this whole movement because they were having delays because of supply chain issues, that they were like, we're stepping away from calling these monthly boxes. Now you order this specific theme so that if you don't get October in October, you're not mad about it.
Right. I feel like, hold on.
I mean, I can go back and find you the posts later.
Because under if you go under hints, it says, we're pleased to share our November adult hint such and such for the next box. So they are still,
maybe they decided to go away. Maybe they decided to not go away from it, but for a minute there they were talking about not doing that anymore.
Oh crap, I need this.
Maybe that was temporary during COVID.
Sorry, because I was on this page, I glanced at it and happened to read a perfect read for fans of Daughter and the Moon Goddess and She Who Became the Sun. Now I'm like, crap, now I need this box. How dare they? How dare they keep doing this to me? I need to look up what this book is. Yeah, no, that's why I was like, what do you mean? No, because
maybe it was temporary.
Maybe it might be.
For a minute they were like, we're not doing monthly anymore.
Maybe they caught up. Maybe they caught up and they're like ahead.
Yeah. And now they're like, we'll call them monthly again. I don't know. I can't. It's been a couple of months ago.
Yeah. But either way, I have one coming. and you got one recently. Yeah. That is the point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Where did your money go?
So I think in the last time that we did this segment, I showed this little set of my Funko Mini Moment with the Halloween episode of WandaVision. And it was not supposed to be this one. They had said they were sending me a different one. So imagine my surprise when I get an email from Target saying that they were sending me the one that they said they had already sent me. And I was like, what is happening? They went in and changed the SKU or something so that they made it look like they had purposefully sent me this one already.
Oh, for free?
Well, because I ordered both. And so,
okay, gotcha.
So I had 2 of them that were supposed to be coming. They said they were sending me the other one, sent me this one, then sent me an email later saying they were sending me the other one, quote unquote, again. But when I went into my order, it looked like they had sent me this one. So I was like, okay, weird. So I was like, okay, so it's fine. I'm going to get both of them. No, I got 2 of these. So that was lovely. So then I was just like, well, fuck. I'm going to return one and hope I can find it in store. But apparently there's some crazy back-end problem because they said that they had them in store and none of the stores actually had it. So
Beautiful.
I just reordered it online and thankfully I got it. It is Agatha and Wanda.
It's Agatha all along.
It was Agatha all along. Oh, hopefully they don't sue us. But it's very cute. So I'm glad that I got the ones that I wanted because now my set is complete. I have all of the WandaVision mini moments, which is very exciting. And then if you follow me, I know you follow me on social media, but if anybody who's listening follows me.
You yesterday.
How dare you? Anybody who follows me on social media has already seen this, but I got an physical ARC from a publisher. I'm very excited about it. I got Lunar Love by Lauren Kung Jessen, and I'm really excited to read this book. Apparently there's lots of mentions of food in it, so I will have to be eating a snack while I read it or else bad things will happen. But I'm excited. It's, Chinese astrology, matchmaking, enemies to lovers. Like, I'm in. I'm 100%
Don't spoil it for me when you read it because I have that arc too.
Yeah, I won't.
On digital.
Yeah, they sent me the NetGalley copy and they sent me a physical copy and like a little note from the publisher. It makes me so happy.
It's very cute.
So I'm very excited about that. And I love, she's a debut author and I love reading debuts. It makes me really happy to see. And that's from Forever Publishing. And I recently got an email from them being like, hey, choose some arcs for the next quarter. And I was like, oh my God, things are happening. I'm in. Yeah. Thank you. It's very exciting. So things are happening, guys.
It was very exciting.
It's very exciting. I was very excited. So I got that, and yesterday I went to the dentist. My appointment was at 2:00. It took an hour and 37 minutes for me to be seen, and they took 19 minutes to clean my teeth, and that was
American
2 hours of
healthcare, ladies and gentlemen.
It was lovely. It was so much fun. So then I went to Barnes & Noble's to make myself feel better. I went in for 2 specific things that I knew that the store had.
Sucker.
We'll start with that. I got Lore Olympus Volume 3, the Barnes & Noble edition, because all my other ones are Barnes & Noble edition, so had to match. And I also got this box set. It's the Carrie Maniscalco box set for the Kingdom of the Wicked.
It's a good read.
And they're all the Barnes & Noble exclusive editions. The first 2 books, this edition is sold out on the website, so this was the only way to get all of them. And because I'm neurotic, I, had to. They're very pretty. I'm very excited.
Yes, they are.
I'm a little sad that my box is ripped, but I can just tape that up or glue it together or something. But I'm very excited. They're very pretty. So that's what I went in for. And as you can see, I did get them. So that's a win.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I go into Target for two things and leave without them.
Yeah, you forget those two things.
Exactly. While we were walking to the YA section, we walked past the graphic novel section. So Lore Olympus, obviously. But my daughter happened to see Silk Out of the Spider-Verse Volume 1, which I was like, I think I already have that one. And I was like, wait, I think I have Volume 2. So I whip out my handy-dandy book buddy, and lo and behold, I do only have Volume 2. So I picked up Volume 1. I needed it. Because
kid looking out. Good looking out, kiddo.
Yeah, I know. Smart kid. Then we go through like the kids section a bit, and then we're coming back around, and there's a table, and it says something like, you think you know them, but you don't, or something like that. And it's a table of memoirs. And I got Beyond the Wand by Tom Felton.
I know. I need to go get it.
I had
the foreword in itself.
Yeah. I'm really excited to read this. But I had forgotten that I don't actually have this book yet. So I was like, oh, it's sitting there. I'm going to pick it up. But because I saw this, I was also reminded that this came out recently. So I had to pick up Madly Deeply, The Diaries of Alan Rickman, because duh. So I ended up leaving with, 3, 4, 7 books, 5 things, 7 books, when I only went in for, the 2 things. And because I went a little cuckoo bananas, I was like, okay, you can get some books. So I got my daughter 2 little Bluey picture books, and she's very excited because she's collecting all of the Bluey books. Bluey. Yeah, we are big fans of Bluey.
We've created a monster.
It could be worse. It could be drugs.
Collecting all of them.
It could be drugs. It could be drugs.
Fizzle rocks on the playground. Nope. Just
so, yep. So there's that. I got this. It is a Marvel Advent Calendar from Funko. It's like got mini Funko
We had a Harry Potter and an Office one last year.
I normally don't do Advent calendars, but I'm like 99% sure there's a Wanda in there, and I have to have it. So,
oh my god.
Plus, there'll probably be really cute decoration for like
will, and it's a fun thing for your kid.
Yeah,
to open every day. Too. Like the twins would get excited opening ours.
Yeah, she'll definitely be excited. So that'll be fun. I just wasn't expecting it to ship so soon. I was expecting it to come closer to Christmas season. So now it's just gonna sit here for 2 months.
A month.
Whoops.
Oh no. No. November is like next week.
Oh shit, like you're month. Right. Whoa. That's
Get me out.
Wow. Okay. I gotta reconfigure my entire life.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I have, hopefully I can grab it without dropping anything. I got my Marvel Collector Core box. It is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So it's the sequel to the Sony Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie, but still Marvel. So it's fun. It came with, I don't want to open it because everything's all crinkly and it makes a lot of noise. But there is a t-shirt that has Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales Spider-Man. There is like a decal with the Spider logo, a Spider-Man head enamel pin. It's like blue. It's not any Spider-Man that I recall ever seeing, so I don't know which Spider-Man it is, but it's pretty cool. It's mostly blue with like hints of red. And I've
seen that one.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. And then
one of the twins is gonna be Spidey for Halloween, and I think I saw it in trying to find costumes for.
Okay. And then the 2 pops that came with it. One is Miles Morales Spider-Man. So it's like the dark suit, and then the other is Spider-Gwen, but she doesn't have her mask on or her hood on, and so it looks it's like an action pose. It's very cool. So I was like, oh, that's cute. So there's that, and I think that's everything. I don't really know. That's everything I have in my vicinity.
within reaching
distance. So that is where which is actually, when you consider the fact that we haven't done this for we've it's only been it's been 2 weeks, and realistically half of that stuff came from yesterday. So
yeah.
I'm proud of
Wow.
me. Look at me.
Yeah.
Yay me.
I got all our Halloween costumes in. Speaking of Spider-Man, because one of them a few years ago she was Spider-Gwen. Now she got a Miles Morales suit. That came in today.
I love that.
The other one's being an assassin. So she got like a shoulder thing to wear. I don't really know. And then I'm Luisa from Encanto because the baby has decided that we're doing Encanto. So I got some inflatable weights that say 1,000 pounds. And I got I didn't want to spend, it was like $70 for like the official Luisa costume. And I'm only gonna wear it one time. So I have like a peasant style shirt from a Disney cruise, and I got a blue skirt, and then I got a little tiny stuffed donkey that I'm gonna have like I'm gonna wear on my shoulder that I'll give to the baby at night. You know, it's hers after we trick or treat with her. So yeah, all of those came in.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. What are you anticipating?
Well, today is October 23rd, which means Doctor Who is back.
I forgot all about that. I'm way behind them, so
I'm not. I'm all caught up and I'm ready to go. It's happening in like 3 hours and I'm so excited.
Hey.
I'm so excited.
So very exciting.
Because I believe this is Jodie's last outing as the Doctor. I think this is the one where it goes so I'm oh my god. We about to have a Black Doctor. I can't wait.
I know.
I'm so stoked. I'm
really excited for that. And then I want a ginger doctor next. Dang it.
We'll get
after him.
We'll get there. Yeah. That'll be fun.
I just think it would be so funny.
It would be so funny. Did you see the memes that came out when Good Omens came out? And somebody it was like a Doctor Who a screenshot from Doctor Who where Tennant is like, "Am I ginger?" like right after he regenerates, and then it's a screenshot from Good Omens where he is a ginger, and somebody's like,
"Oh yeah." He finally became a ginger.
Took a different show, but he got there.
Yeah,
that's what I think of. So I'm looking forward to Doctor Who, and also our awards episode.
I know, I'm very excited. I think I'll have this to you tonight. Ideas for awards.
I know.
I've been comatose.
I have not been on top of this.
No.
I have to think
We'll be ready before Thursday because we'll have to have time to know our top three, because I'm gonna have to go through Goodreads and figure out what all I watched.
That's what I was thinking.
I couldn't tell you.
I have to go through and see everything that I read and then pick my top 3. God, this is
and then you have to have a favorite of those 3.
I know.
You have to have who wins the award.
I know. I read like 100 books this year, like so far.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm so stressed out.
Well, you're gonna have to buckle up there, buddy, and
I know. I think for next year, what I'm gonna have to do is start like writing things down and then like knocking people off if somebody takes over their spot or something, because
March Madness.
This is insane to have to go through
brackets.
For real. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm looking forward to Black Panda Wakanda Forever. My daughter asked me the other day.
Did you wait? Did you say Black Panda?
Did I?
Because it sounded
no idea.
It sounded like it could have just been that I'm delirious, but it sounded like you said Black Panda.
I don't know. I'll let you know when I go back and edit. Let me know when
you're editing this. But if you didn't say that, I'm sorry for interrupting.
That's okay, because that's hilarious. But anyways, Black Panther Wakanda Forever It's possible because apparently I'm smushing words together right now today. So Panther, Wakanda.
Look, I'm on cold meds. I could have heard you say the two separate words and I mushed them together in my delirium.
Who knows? We'll find out. It'll be amazing. My daughter asked me earlier last week, she's like, are we going to see Black Panther 2 this weekend? I'm like, child, it comes out in November.
Yeah,
like we were not invited to the premiere, so no.
Rude. Rude.
One day.
Yep.
We're here, Marvel. We're waiting.
Yes, we are.
But I can't really think of anything else that I'm anticipating other than just winter break.
Yeah.
Naps.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost took a nap before recording.
Yeah, me too. But then I was like, I'm
not gonna wake up.
I won't wake up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
what
about you?
I'm anticipating Halloween. My grandmother's a crazy Halloween person, so we always go to her house and it's just cozy Halloween. Then I got to take the Atlas Paradox off of my we're anticipating list, so that was exciting. So then I have Blood Marked by Tracy Dion, which is the Legendborn sequel. And Y'all Fest. I'm excited about Y'all Fest. They released like the Y'all Crawl event for Friday where like randomly Chloe Gong is going to be in a shoe store and
right.
Victoria Aveyard is going to be in a jewelry store all up and down King Street, which we love King Street and shopping on King Street. So looking forward to that. And then I just have in all caps Thursday because it's our awards and it's our last episode of the year and the season.
Yes.
Looking very, very forward to that. Yes. Very, very forward to that.
You know what? Next Thursday, I'm going to take a nap. I don't care what I'm doing. I'm taking a nap Thursday.
I'm going to set an alarm to go to bed at 9:00, which is when we start. Yeah. No, I mean, it could be bedtime for me. It doesn't even have to be a nap.
That's true.
Go to bed. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to a mini break.
Yep, for sure.
Yay.
All right. Last but not least, before we get to our besties. Got a
freestyle. Okay, so I saw a TikTok recently, sometime in the past 3 weeks, and it was a really interesting take, and I want your opinion on it.
Okay.
So we know that when we're getting like, or even if we're not getting like book adaptations to like movie or film, people will fan cast certain actors in certain roles, right? It seems to be, and I don't know if it's just because I'm noticing it more now or that we're noticing it more now or if people are more aware of it, but we're fan casting people of color more often in these roles. But the question is, why are we fan casting people of color in stories that are being written by white authors when we have perfectly good POC stories that we could, like, yes, diversity is important, but also why not just adapt the POC author's book instead?
I mean, what if they haven't read the POC author's book, but they have read this white author's book and they really loved it and they're fan casting because that's a book that they enjoyed.
Right.
All right. So let me go ahead and tell you this. I read ACOTAR, right? Because early COVID, you know, I had a lot of friends who were like, you have to read this at the same time that I was watching Heroes and Lucifer. So my Reese is Milo Ventimiglia. You bring in the shadow singer, Azrael, as I'm watching Lucifer. And the guy who plays, I think his name is Amenadiel, is a tall black man who can show up with giant black wings. And he's quiet and he's, you know, very, you know, you can tell that he'll fight you if he absolutely, you know, if he needs to. He's not to be trifled with. When I read ACOTAR, Azrael is a black man, even though he's not. And I know he's not, but I pictured this actor because I was consuming other media at the time.
Right.
That I think that character and that actor reminded me of the way this character is described personality wise. And so it could be that. It could be something like that.
The question I think that I want to think about, I want us to think about, and our listeners to think about, is Hollywood is choosing, generally, when we're adapting things, we're getting a lot of stories from white authors. Publishing in and of itself is already a very white dominant, everything is white dominated, but publishing itself is very white dominated industry. And if we're not actively choosing to read diversely, then Hollywood is going to continue to adapt novels from white authors. These are not, like, why not choose to read diversely and then choose to fight for these non-white stories and cast people in these roles where we need that like, yes, it's nice to have representation, but also it's not just not just like the physical visual representation, but we also need our stories to be heard too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and so like, and this, I wish I had saved the TikTok. I don't know that I did. But it's like, maybe what we need to be doing instead of quote unquote pushing diversity into these white stories is to just focus on the non-white stories. And then you don't have to. And especially when we're in this age where we have people who are so angry about Ariel being a black woman, about Hermione being black.
Okay, hold on. They need to be more concerned with what Flounder looks like than what Ariel looks like, because that's the stuff of nightmares, first of all. But yeah, fair.
It's like, I'm not saying that I don't appreciate a diverse casting in stories. Like, yeah, Hermione can be black. It doesn't, like, that doesn't affect the story. Ariel can be black. That doesn't affect the story. But it's also like, well, why can't we also have our characters come and like, we got Black Panther. Yeah. Those are black stories. And it's like,
I mean, I guess I would be just as excited for a Legendborn TV show as I will be for an ACOTAR TV show. You know, like, probably more so. I don't think ACOTAR needs to be a thing. Like, I think they're gonna ruin it.
I'm concerned about an ACOTAR adaptation.
I would love if they would do Throne of Glass. I think it would be epic. I don't like the idea of ACOTAR on the big screen, on any screen.
I feel like ACOTAR is one of those things where I like that it only lives in my brain. Like, I don't need to see it.
Because of these fan casts that you have in your head.
Yeah.
Even though I know they're wrong.
Right.
And they're not, book accurate. Like, my Morrigan is also what's her name? Oh my god, she's like one of my like biggest female Hollywood crushes is the woman who plays Mazikeen. She's a black woman, but she takes no shit from nobody, just like does. And so nobody's gonna be as good as her as the Morrigan. Nobody's gonna be as good as Milo Ventimiglia to me as Rhysand, even though I know he's supposed to be Middle Eastern. But I was consuming other media at the time, and it transposed itself over into the story.
Right.
Yeah.
I think
Hollywood and the publishing industry need to do better.
Right. I think it speaks more to the issue.
Made.
Right. I think it just speaks more to the issue. Like, not necessarily that we shouldn't be casting people of color in white stories where the characters aren't physically described in any way. Like, the changing of their race doesn't affect the story in any way. I'm not saying that we can't do that, because that's great. That's awesome to have that diversity. But it's also like, we need to be more aware of the fact that we also need to be bringing in non-white stories, not just adapting the ones that are the white stories, because a lot of the times that's what it is, and like for example, we talked about it recently, People We Met on Vacation is being adapted to the big screen, and they could cast a person of color in the role or whatnot, but that's still a white story. It's still a white author, and we should be hoping
ingenuous.
You're right. And what we need to be focusing on the fact that, why are we not getting these other stories? Why is it so often only these white stories that are being presented? Like, somebody please buy the rights to These Violent Delights and just make that into like, my problem with that though is that I need to know if Chloe can act, because Chloe needs to be Juliet. In my mind, Chloe Gong is Juliet Tsai.
Yeah.
But no, it's just like we do. I think it's a conversation about the entertainment industry at large and the publishing industry at large. Like, we need to bring the diverse stories to the forefront and not just be like, let's just stick a person of color in this white story.
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
thanks.
Fair.
That's not 100% what we want. That's a step towards what we want. But
yeah, that's just but it's goal.
Not the end goal. Yeah, like, I would love to see, more stories written by people of, especially like black authors, indigenous authors. Like, I would love to see more of that. Oh my
God, a Firekeeper's Daughter movie would be everything on this earth. Because there are people like that story needs to be heard, and not just like there are people who don't read, who still need to like hear that story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, I hadn't even thought about a Firekeeper's Daughter specifically movie.
Right, but it's just like, and that's the perfect example. It's like, we need that story in as many mediums as we can get them, because like you said, some people just don't read, and that's okay. If you don't read and you just consume,
that's fine.
That's fine. Like, I have no problem with that. But that doesn't mean that you should be excluded from hearing the story. And so it's a powerful story that should be told to a wider audience. And if it stays in a book, it's not going to do that. And so I think it's a question of the entire industry at large. Like, we need them to really step it up and bring forth more diverse stories. Okay, there is a reason that, popular book talk books are, there's a lot of white authors there, but there are other ones too. I read These Violent Delights because it was on Book Talk. Like, there are people of color on Book Talk with books that are really popular, that we can bring these stories to Hollywood as well, please. And I think, like, I intentionally, like, choose books. I choose to read diversely. Like, if I have two books in front of me and they both sound good, and one of them is a white author and one of them is like a non-white author, 9 times out of 10 I'm picking the non-white author. And that's no shade to like the other person, but it's just like, I can read a white story.
I mix them up behind my back and I just
or I honestly, it's like, I can throw a stone in a bookstore and hit a white book, like a white story. But if I can choose to read more diversely and have these stories, consume these stories, like, I'm nobody in the world. Like, I'm just me. But I feel like that makes a difference, like, we gotta do what we gotta do. And in my mind, if I'm like choosing to read more diversely, like, it maybe will say something to publishers to be like, hey, let's get more of these stories. Hey, let's pitch more of these stories to Hollywood for movie adaptations or whatnot. And so, like, I don't think it's a problem with fan
casting. It's more of the publishing industry.
Right. I don't think it's a problem with fan castings as they are, because that's just what they are. They're just fan castings. They're just for fun. But it does bring up the idea of like, well, why can't we have more diversity on screen? Not just in the people that we see, but in the stories that we see.
Right.
And so
I don't have the issue of having two books in front of me. Normally, I like specifically know I want to read that book next because somebody told me that book. And I don't even really think about who the author is, which is obviously it's privilege. To be able, to not even have to think about it. But lately NetGalley has been deciding what I and the little table on NetGalley of what's due soonest is deciding what I read right now.
But additionally, you curated that list. You know what I mean? Like, you chose these titles. And it's not to say this is not a attack of title.
No, unless I knew the title, 9 times out of 10, honest to God, the cover. I don't look at name or title. If the cover looks cool, I don't care who wrote it.
Yeah.
And again, that's privilege. but it's just,
I think
a sequel, or, oh, I've heard about this and I know it's coming, or, oh, pretty. Ooh, pretty. Click it. It's pretty.
Mine usually goes, I'll look at the title, or not the title, the cover. I will look at the cover before anything else. I'll look at the cover. If the cover is anything that I see on that cover gives me Asian vibes, then I look at the author, and I'm like, okay, is this an Asian author? Okay, I feel okay about this. Then I read the description if I'm on NetGalley. Then I'll read the description. I was like, does this sound like something that's up my alley? And then I'll be like, okay. But if it's a pretty cover that's not like, it's just a regular pretty cover, I'm like, okay, that's pretty. And then I'll read this. If I look at the author and I'm like, if it's an Asian person, then I get extra excited about it, even though it doesn't, it's like not necessarily an Asian story. I just get really excited. Like, it's weird, you know? So yeah, I think it's just more about, like, I would like more people to intentionally read more diversely, which will therefore push these stories into, like, the eyes of Hollywood, which will therefore hopefully push these stories onto the screens, because they deserve to be heard too.
And we did learn recently with Lightlark, from Victoria Aveyard stepping out and talking about it, that the Hollywood does absolutely watch the publishing industry. So if we are buying, it's not even, I mean, obviously reading and consuming the media, but even if you buy it, even if you're not going to read it right now, but you see a book by, you know, a diverse, a POC author, or with a, you know, like we have Blackout and Whiteout is a whole cast of POC authors. Even if you're not going to read it tomorrow, you can still buy it if you know that you're going to, and you're going to want to, and you have the means to do it, because that still shows Hollywood. And sure, reviewing it and speaking out about it does more, but dollar bills speak too, and that's what Hollywood's watching even more than the reviews, is purchases.
And unfortunately, that's just
you're
how
like
it is
us,
when we're
go into Barnes and Noble for one thing, and I can't bypass the banned books table, which a lot of it is POC authors now, because they're mad about everything. So if a POC author dares to write a book, it's going on the banned book table. My mom and I get my reading, like my readerness from mom. And one day, I think we were on the way to Disney, and she was driving, and I had told her about the banned books table, and we went down the list of like 100. And I'm like reading the title and like why to her, and we just got like more and more irate the whole time.
Yes,
because it's absurd. It absurd.
It is absolutely absurd. But, you know, I feel like this is a good time to say it, but like, we vote with our dollars. That's not just with voting, but that's with the entertainment industry. That's with the publishing industry. Like, money talks. Unfortunately, that's what happens when you're in a capitalist society. Money fucking talks. So we gotta do what we gotta do.
Captain Underpants is banned because it's a child in his underwear. Like, really, guys?
Of course it is. Of course.
Really?
Good Lord.
My God. They make me so tired. Okay. Do you want to talk about our besties and do a spiel first before we talk about our besties?
Yes, I can do that.
Do you want to hear this dog keep whining?
I think what he's trying to say is he would like to do the spiel to give me time off.
Georgie! Do it, bud.
Are you ready, George?
If you like this episode, he's got stage fright now. You don't want to say anything now?
All right.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and share.
He's so confused. He's so confused. He's like, what are you talking about?
He's like, what? I don't speak. I don't ever interrupt.
All right, friends. Well, if you did enjoy this episode, please like, follow, and subscribe wherever you are listening to us. Please follow us on social media. We are at The Incoherent Fangirl on Instagram and TikTok, at Incoherent Girls on Twitter, because Twitter is the freaking worst. Boo.
Boo. Dumpster fire of the internet.
It truly is. Please also like our Facebook page, and then head over and visit our website, theincoherentfangirl.com, where you can also stream all of our episodes, as well as read our blog. We've been adding some stuff recently. We're getting better at it.
Yes, we have.
We took a little break there for a while. We were overwhelmed, but we're getting back into it. And then you can also visit our YouTube channel to stream all of our episodes there if that's your jam. They are audio only. We will be using it for Patreon, which will include full video episodes and bonus content in the new year. I'm putting it out there. We will have it ready for the new year. I've got 11 weeks off to figure it out. If you have any suggestions for Patreon or the podcast in general, questions, comments, concerns, want to tell us we're pretty, or let us know what you're reading right now, if you want to share some recommendations you think we might be interested in, we'll add it to our TBR, but, that doesn't necessarily mean we're going to read it right away. But if you have something that you think that we really should look into, let us know.
There's something that urgently needs to be read, tell us.
Yeah, so you can send us an email where theincoherentfangirl@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And we would also love if you can review the podcast wherever you are listening to us. Leave us a review, rate the podcast, and then shoot us an email. Let us know where that review is, because we are Apple girls and we forget that other platforms exist. Sorry. We are snooty Apple girls.
Apple babies.
What can you do? And then that's everything in the spiel. She's at Mandy Perv on all things.
And she's at Ms. Made in China on all the things.
Yay, us.
Do you guys want to hear about our bestie?
I think they want to hear about our besties.
They're the besties.
They are the best. You can head over to herecomesthenerd.com, use code FANGIRL to get 20% off your first order.
Then you should head to onceuponabookclub.com and use code Mandy10 for 10% off.
And if you would like more books, you can go over to noveltychest.com. That is novel like a book, tea like the drink, chest.com. Use code FANGIRL5 and you'll get 5% off your monthly subscription.
And last but not least, there's always going to be a need for more tea. You can never have enough tea. So head to grimoiretea.com and use code FANGIRLT for 10% off. Just remember, there's no I in fangirl.
Yay, we love our besties.
And that, yes, we do. That was the last normal episode of the Incoherent Fangirl 2022.
Oh my God. Season 1. That's almost a wrap on season 1. We got one episode left after this. One episode left. You want to stay tuned because it'll be fun. It'll be a fun episode.
Yeah, I'm excited about this episode.
I'm super excited, and it's going to be so low key. I don't have to think too much about it.
No.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It'll be fun. So stay tuned for next week, where the season finale of The Incoherent Fangirl. Oh my God, that feels so weird to say.
I know, I'm so excited.
We've done this for almost the entire year. Oh, wow.
It's wild. It's wild.
Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for listening. And thanks for interacting with us on social media. We love you so much.
We love you.
Bye.
We are sponsored by our friends at Here Comes the Nerd. Pins, stickers, magnets, and more. Here Comes the Nerd has happy art for all fandom-loving hearts. New customers can use coupon code FANGIRL during checkout for 20% off their first order at herecomesthenerd.com. Coupon applies to ready-to-ship items only.